Knows Photos video. And who's waiting for a new bike? Well, I know a couple of guys that I work with that have ordered bikes and they're just not coming. They're talking about at least 3 to 4 months. They just have no stock on the floor and they have no stock from the factory. So they have to wait for them to be made. Now, we all know that COVID has caused some issues, but Giant has actually had a few other problems. And we're going to discuss that after we roll that intro. Well, Giant became a little bit unstuck with this whole COVID supply thing because what actually added to their problems was that they actually had started to wind back their production pre-COVID because the bicycle industry was in decline at that point. So what they started to do is close down their Chinese factories and bring all of their production back to Taiwan, which was their main factory. But then, of course, we had COVID and no one could go to the gym or whatever and exercise in groups. So everyone took up cycling. And as we know, cycling became boom times in COVID. So then they decided that let's open these factories again and re-get them going to try and meet demand. So that's all not so easy to close them down and then reopen them and whatever. So they came a little bit unstuck. And they've actually, on their page, they've actually got a saying that they're sorry for that because they couldn't supply demand for their customers, which is really good. I think Giant are one of the better companies in the industry. Anyway, this has all been a bit of a situation across many industries. It was also the same with medical equipment like masks and so forth, because they're all made in China. They had to have supply restrictions. And countries around the world couldn't get medical masks and whatever, and everyone was hoarding them and trying to outbid each other. And especially in America, we heard all the stories about different states trying to outbid each other states. So this has been a real problem. And we know that 3 of the companies in China really make about 80% of the bikes. So that sort of made this whole situation far, far worse. So what does this all mean? Well, for us people who are into biking and want to get a new bike, this creates a problem because there's actually 2 guys in our work. One wants to buy a new bike and he's been told that he has to wait for his Merida about 3 to 4 months. And there's also another guy who actually got hit and his bike got smashed, which was a Giant, and he wants a bike and he's been told that they're having trouble sourcing the bike and it could be 3 to 4 months. So these sorts of delays are very, very typical. Now, what does that mean for someone who wants to buy a bike or is thinking of buying a new bike? Well, I would recommend that you wait. Now, there is talk of a vaccine in the first quarter. Whether you believe in a vaccine or not is another story, but what it will do is once these vaccines start to get rolled out, confidence will return in business because there's not this thing at the back of your head like, oh, if there's an outbreak or another outbreak, factories are going to have to close down, supply chains are being interrupted all the time. It will give people that placebo effect that this is finished, this is over, we have something to control it, let's get on with normal business. And what I recommend is to wait till the second half of 2021 if you're really looking at buying a bike. Probably even like later on when they bring out the new models and you're going to have a better selection and maybe even demand is picked up, then you might even be able to get a better deal. So anyway, so that's my recommendation on what's been happening in the bicycle industry. If anyone knows any inside information about what's going on with other bike industries, other bike manufacturers, just leave your comments down below. Let us know so everyone's informed. Okay then guys, well that's my vid for the day. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you next vid.